Oh, hello, hello. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. I want to welcome everybody who's here, for the first time, and I can see there's quite a few people here that don't know, so which is great. Because this is really, this whole stream is made for you. Really, that I'm trying to introduce you to the master's program. We're going to go through the whole master's program. I'm going to try to explain you what it is. And then at the end, we're going to have enough time to do questions and answers for anything, that you guys have in particular. In short, um, the master's program from color training is the world's only degree that you can earn in color grading. We have just extended it last semester, so it lasts 6 months of weekly tuition, and then you have 3 months to write a thesis and deliver your final assignment, and then we spend another few months doing the reviews of your assignments, and then after exactly 12 months since you started, you're going to then be given your diploma. Now, diploma is not automatic. You don't just get a diploma just because you attended or you signed up for the course. You have to earn the diploma. I'm going to explain everything into more detail. Now, this is very, very special course, something that was on my mind for many years. Namely, I started teaching color grading many years ago, a little bit like an accident. Actually, there is an anecdote I want to tell you about that, which was that years ago I bought a software which was called Final Touch as my first color grading software, and it cost me something $5,000. It was not cheap, and but it was actually very much cheaper than buying a $250,000 DaVinci Resolve, and I was able to beef up my Mac and add some special hard drives and be able to color grade in real time. It was just absolute miracle. And then Apple bought that software, and then I packaged it for free together with Final Cut, and then I sent this kind of little bit angry email to Apple, to my colleagues, because I used to work at Apple, and I sent to them, "Hey guys, you just ruined my business, by the way." And they were like, "That was so good to hear from you. Actually, really good you're calling, because we need somebody to teach people how to use this software." And so they made me first to train the trainer. So I was actually training other trainers, and then I started first color grading classes at the Soho Editors in London many, many years ago, where I was teaching color grading using Final Touch, or what was later called Apple Color. And then the rest is history. I kind of ended up, doing this as my, kind of part-time, thing. I've been doing it now for more than 12 years. I love it. I really, really enjoy it, which is the main reason why I'm doing it. Today, I'm developing software. I'm, consulting for big companies and stuff, but I still teach. And what happened was, basically a few years ago, I can't remember exactly how many, but it's still like maybe now probably more, almost 10 years ago, right? I was invited to teach at the Film und Fernsehhochschule in Berlin. And I was teaching there always once a semester. I was a guest lecturer there. And they had the very first master's program for colorists. So basically, the German government, actually, there was a people who really put that program together were really the heroes of that program. There was a gentleman called Dirk Meyer who kind of came up with that idea, written a proposal to the government. They funded it, and this master's program started. And it had like maybe 6, 7 students, I think, going through it. It was also a 1-year program, and I realized that the people who leave that master's program are just so skilled. Like, it was no comparison to anybody finishing a course, or like 2 days, 1 week course, in comparison to how skilled these people were. It's obvious, because for 1 year they were just eating, thinking, sleeping, color, right? That's all they do. 1 year they were just studying color. And what was really very interesting is like back then I was helping like a really big project, and Peter Doyle was grading it, and they needed an assistant, and it was very hard, and I took one of the students from that master's program, and she was just like unbelievable. She walked in, and the next day she was handling everything that needed to be done. It just made me realize, my God, like really the best way how to learn color grading up to then was that you go and you work at a facility and you basically get trained by colorists, professional colorists working with you. But then I realized, no, but if you actually build a very focused training program for somebody and you are consistently teaching them for a prolonged period of time, in this case 1 year, you get much better result than letting somebody assist for 5-6 years or something like that. It's just completely different level. So that was a really kind of a thought at the back of my mind. I knew that this type of learning is really, really important. The next big thing that happened as well was that I got invited again to teach in Germany at another school, which is called the Frankfurter Hochschule, which is art school. It's nothing to do with color grading on television. It's a famous art school. Many famous artists came out of that school. And I don't know why they invited me. But they said, "Oh, Dado, we love the way you talk about color. We have artists here. They do mixed media. They don't just paint and make sculptures. They use digital sometimes and this and that. And we just think this is just absolutely fascinating how you teach color. Why don't you come and teach for us?" And when I was there, I connected with the dean of the school and I asked him, "How do you teach people to be artists?" Right? And he said to me, "Well, I don't. I really just, let them be artists, right?" And I kind of little supervise from the sides. And that concept really gave me an idea that later became the Look Academy, because I made this course where I'm not teaching the techniques anymore. I'm teaching art, the art, exactly you becoming an artist. Because for me, color grading is not a technique. It's a blend between technique and art, and that's really what makes colorists is because they are artists in one way as much as they are technically skilled people. So that was another breakthrough where we figured out, oh my God, we found a way how we can teach color grading in completely different way and get incredible results, because people that would come out of the Look Academy had these incredible skills of how to build looks, how to understand, how to tell stories with color. Nothing like we've seen ever before. And then combine that with, when happened the COVID and then the whole training went online, somehow things just came together. And, like now 4 years ago, we started doing the first master's kind of program. And it is evolving. It's every semester we are like improving it and we're learning, and we're just making it better and better. But I always say the proof is in the pudding. And the students that graduate and leave our master's program are just on a completely another level. They really challenge the current status quo of what's considered, to be a high-end colorist, right? Now really, because our students are from all over the world, they are not necessarily connected to a large facility, but the quality of their output and work that they're doing is by far, superseding, and I would say definitely challenging the top post-production companies out there. So we're so confident in, and the feedback we're getting from students that we are really doing something very special for the industry in general, because, there was a danger that there was not going to be another, way how we can build a new generation of colorists, and we need it, because the generation of colorists that started this, back in early 2000, they are slowly, kind of getting into retirement. And then the whole color grading business has expanded exponentially, and there is this need for really a proper trained, skilled colorists that are going to push this art of color grading further and not be limited by some YouTube videos, which what most people that I talk to sometimes ask them, how do you learn it? They say, oh, I kind of watch YouTube videos, which is kind of really sad. That I love that YouTube, don't get me wrong, but it's like very difficult for you to learn the real skills of what's really happening professionally, what top end really requires you to do. You're never going to find this in public. So we found a way basically how to do this. So in this particular in the stream today, I want to take you through what is really happening and step by step in this course and how it's working. And this is exactly the the new paradigm we created, and a little bit we created some changes. So I really hope that that can then help you guys just also understand if this is the right program for you or not, or something like that. I just want to warn you, it's a big commitment. It's not something that you do, oh, I'm just going to do it. It requires, your commitment, number one, your time commitment, your energy commitment, and your financial commitment. And you, but if you are committed and if you do pull through, um, the result will just speak for themselves. Okay, so I want to take you a little bit through, how and what really happens, and how these things work. Okay, so let's start. All right. So this is what I'm going to cover today. I want to talk to you about the modules that we have, what we learn in each one of them. We're going to talk about the schedule, and then we're going to talk about what's necessary to get a diploma at the end. And then I'm going to leave enough time for us to answer any questions. Okay. So, first of all, the modules. So, we developed a new module. Okay. This is something that we started last semester, and it worked absolutely fantastically. And it's called Master's Induction. It's a principle that I have borrowed from the latest research in education. And I have come across some sort of research papers that have analyzed methods of education and training and how to optimize it. And it kind of clicked once I kind of read through it. And basically what this method says is that, you know instead of being systematic about training, where you just kind of go and start giving people like practical kind of exercises and stuff like this, from which is, we understand that practical training is the best training, right? But instead of doing it like straight away from practical, it is very, it's a beneficial if you teach the concepts first. So for example, we have this in aviation. If you decide you want to be a pilot, right? You don't straight away sit in an airplane and they teach you how to pilot. That's not what happens, right? What happens is they teach you the basic concepts of flying, even physics, even the whole radios, the rules, the weathers, the like everything necessary, all the concepts necessary for you, that by the time you sit to fly, you prepared for it. And that's why in less than 40 hours from then on, you're actually already legally allowed to take a exam for solo flyer, right? If you think about it, why? Because you had this period of 80 hours of concepts of theoretical training, effectively, right? So basically, that's a really an important part of the whole kind of structure. Okay, that you have this in many other things. Even car driving is very similar like that. You do first theory tests, right? And then so on. So we developed basically a training which is a concept of color grading training first. And that's so important because then students come to us from all backgrounds, right? We get maybe somebody who's already working as a professional colorist, somebody who's never color graded before, but is a cinematographer and understands concept of grading, somebody who is stills photographer, somebody who is editor, somebody who's just finished film school and discovered that color grading is the thing that they want to do. Okay, so these are all the things that basically, so we need to bring everybody on the same level and make them understand, what grading is about. But with that, give them also the skill and the confidence to be able to complete the program. And that is, something that we extended it even, and we made it really, really like an important part of the training. So we don't start straight away, hey, let's open DaVinci, let's grade. No, we learn the whole concept, what really grading is, and that's something that's never taught anywhere. Nobody really bothered to take time to go back and say, hey, what is really color grading? Why are we doing this? What's happening here? So really like this, they think about it like that. Then we're going to do feature film. class, we start with feature film. We start with feature film because the feature film is genuinely the most desired art form of color grading, but also it can it is a great starting point because it's a lot about managing colors, and instead of just being very like a detailed as for example commercials is technically really really difficult, demanding. There's a lot of rotoscoping removals and stuff like this, so we cover the basics of grading through features really. Then we do on to commercials, which is like commercials, like what we teach today is something that people used to hire a flame artist a few years ago. Now you do it all yourself using Notrice in DaVinci. That's pretty much what we do. Is like it's not so much about grading, it's about everything else that comes on top of it. And then we do HDR, the most important skill, 100% today. The first question you get asked in an interview for a job: do you know HDR? Right, it's the most important. Like every you cannot deliver any show today, television or film, without not being able to do it in HDR. And this is going to become norm more and more. It, in one moment there won't be any more SDR. We're going to move away from SDR in few years, very quickly. And then we do the look design and show development, the most fun of all. Like this is basically where we're doing analyzing movies, building looks, all the different techniques, and it's just really where we prepare you for the look academy, which is the pinnacle. And the look academy is where you get to listen to very experienced colorists, how they approach their work, what they do. We study more movies, we study some techniques. And that's basically that kind of part where I'm removing myself from the occasion. And when you are the artist, where you're developing the looks without safety net, as I call it. So it's very very important part of the whole process. Okay. Okay. So let me give you a little bit more details what really happens in each one of those masters, sections. So, we start with the induction with the theory and, the whole emotion of images, the story, the elements of the look, which is very important to understand, what really makes look. This is very like a neuroscientifically based study. Then we learn first color management, right? This is crazy. Like, but yes, we do first color management, and then we tell you, okay, let's go and build a look now, right? You're never going to work on color managed ever again. We'll build some basic looks first. We understand the scopes. Then we work only with printer lights. What I do for you is I tell you, you're not allowed to make look any. You cannot make look with anything else, but just with printer lights. This is the only tool you have available. And then I teach you a little bit how to do the same thing with primary. And that limitation is really something that I need to do to unlearn you from a lot of bad learning that most people bring to this course, where they kind of try to use hundreds of notes and hundreds of tools instead of just really simplifying the process. So this is very very important. It's probably one of the most valuable parts of this training, that I kind of remove a lot of bad things out of your habits. And then we start building some looks. We start learning how to build these looks, how to combine CDLs and LUTs. Then we learn more about the node structures, what the qualifiers windows do, and then we figure out how to master. So pretty much really like these are all the basic concepts that are available to you in color grading that you have. And you even though some of them you probably known, maybe you worked as a colorist before, still I want you to go to strip you down, go back to basics, and really cover that. And that prepares us then for next masterclass, which is the feature class. It's all about understanding the workflow. And what is really, you have to understand, everything I teach you is I teach you from a perspective of a client, right? I am the client. How would I say? I see you through client's eyes. So just because color grading is useless to you unless you are working with clients, right? You have somebody that you work for, right? And it doesn't matter, whether this client is a cinematographer or is director. right? Look, you could be shooting and color grading yourself, but you still have a client. Your client who hired you to shoot and edit and color grade for them is your client. You don't exist unless somebody hires you. Your purpose is, there is no purpose of colorist unless there is a real client, someone in a room who's gonna pay you to do this work for them. Okay. So one thing that you don't learn anywhere else is that management of the client process, understanding how to communicate, understanding what the expectations are, knowing how other people work. Like, for example, many colorists today have a little bit learned themselves on YouTube, but they never really seen how other colorists communicate with clients, how they work, what's their style of work, what level of professionalism do they use when they communicate with clients, and how they communicate. And what I do is I straight away put that on a level. So the way how you're communicating with me is how you would be communicating with client. And that's also big part of the training. Okay. But we also learn a lot of techniques, day for night, which is always you're going to have that. You learn film emulation. Oh my God, film. But you're going to be a doctor in film emulation. I guarantee you that you'll have a PhD just in film emulation. Then we do dealing with object removal, sky replacements, with denoising, right? Then working remotely and collaboratively. It's a big part of like color grading has become more of a team sport, right? There is a daily scholar is DIT. There's maybe more than one person doing a show, because you work on one episode, but other person works another. You're sharing it with clients, and so on, so on, so on. So basically, you know this is really like preparing you for a real world episodic TV film grading environment. Okay. Then we move on to commercials. And as I said, many colleagues of mine, old school colorists, are against this. They say, Dado, this is not what we do. But I disagree. I disagree. You, as a colorist, you're responsible for that perfect picture, and that perfect picture doesn't just happen with you altering colors. You need to do more. You need to do more. You need to be able to mask the picture, to, remove, to beauty, clean faces, do stuff. You know, Commercials look perfect. Every frame looks perfect, and they're not perfectly shot. Now, more and more, the smaller the budgets for commercials, the less perfection you're going to be getting in camera, and more clients will depend on your skill to get that image that they want. And commercials are incredibly important, because commercials are the number one growing part of our industry. We saw in 2024 more than 18% more budgets, more productions, more commercials productions going in what they call connected TV and in streaming TVs. So double digit growth. This is the only part of our industry that's growing a double digit, right? So your, I'm afraid to say, well, you might love feature films. Commercials will be your bread and butter. You will be doing a lot of them, and you will be able to, fill your days in between films or whatever with commercials. It's super important to know them. We learn about skin a lot, a lot. We're really like going a lot into the retouching. We're doing car commercials, lifestyle commercials, pack shots, all sorts of things, right? It's really, really, like a very, very, comprehensive study of what really happens in commercials. Then we do HDR, right? Like, there isn't a job you will be hired for unless you know HDR. I'm afraid to say so. There, the HDR is a basic skill, and in so many ways, many people get it wrong. And we had now years of HDR, so you don't have to suffer and try to discover yourself. I have, done so many HDR shows, starting with the Netflix's very first HDR show called Marco Polo Season 2, and have since then supervised so many HDR deliveries. So there is a method to the madness, and this is really what you're going to learn here. This is going to show you how to be very efficient with HDR, how to understand how to set up HDR, how to work SDR HDR or HDR SDR, how to do trimming, how to do Dolby Vision and so on. So really, really important part of that, right? How to deal with specifics. Then we're going to go into look design. Most students love this part. They kind of can't wait for this part. And this is just basically, it's a kind of two things. Like it's a film history study and it's a technical study. It's so what the way how it works is we pick a movie. We have two movies that we pick, and then we study the movie and we reverse engineer the look of the movie, and then we understand how the story is told through the look of the movie, and then we rebuild those looks, and it's just fascinating. And you see yourself rebuild the looks of some of the most amazing movies out there, and then you see, oh my god, I can do it. I can make this look out of, like, we give you some like a really badly shot stock footage, and you still make it look like Emilia Perez or something like that. Like, really, like, this is such an rewarding part of the course, where all these skills and practice you've been putting together all by all this time, really put in place. But most importantly, like, teach you that kind of the expressionism in color, the part of color for storytelling, and how it works. I can't, when we get to that core part, you'll understand more. And then we have a Look Academy. We changed Look Academy a little bit now. Okay, so what we do with Look Academy is this. So you are required to find a job that you've been working on. If you don't have a job, you have to create a job. Okay, so you take a camera and shoot it. If nobody came you with the footage and asked you to do some grading, then you go and you shoot footage. I don't care. You basically come up with a job and a brief, and it could be a real job you got at the moment, or it could be something you did in the past now with a different brief. So you select your material and you select your brief, and we'll help you define that. So we will work with you to help you set realistic goals to what you're trying to achieve. Okay. And then you're going to, without any supervision, build the looks, because it's more than one look always, right? For that particular job and project. Okay. And that is going to be part of your final assignment. So you don't have to finish everything during the Look Academy. But what we're doing in Look Academy is we are reviewing your proposals, and we are helping you um, uh, formulate your proposals in the best possible way. Okay. And then at the same time, we have guest lectures. And these guest lectures are with famous colorists or with famous scientists and researchers that will then help you deepen a little bit your knowledge, of color grading, understanding of workflows, understanding it, give you just really an inspiration. This is, to me, the most inspirational part, when you hear famous colorists telling you how they made it, what they did, how they work exactly, show you their note tree as well. It's really inspirational. It's really kind of makes you understand, oh my god, I am on that, I'm there. I'm not some kind of person that dreams of it. No, I am there. I am actually able to do exactly what they do. And that's a really important feeling, that level of confidence that you need to have. And then you will build the looks, and then we'll give you feedback, but we're not teaching you anything anymore. We're just there to observe you. This is that art, part of the process that I was talking about. We also have a seminars, and these seminars cover a little bit deeper things that are necessary for you to know. So we're going to learn about JP Look 2 and FilmLab AI. These are the two most important developments for feature film. FilmLab AI is just taking industry by storm. This is, people love it, especially Lens Lab with this kind of lens simulation, and the JP Look 2. We released and as an open source, and since then had more than 2,000 downloads and stuff. So it's really like becoming, and major software manufacturers are integrating it. So it's really proven way of how to get your workflow much better. Then we're going to learn AI background replacement. So AI just really got so good now, guys, that we can actually really like combine it, like for set extensions and stuff like this. So we're going to teach you realistic parts of what you can do with AI now without anybody noticing that you're using AI. And then we're gonna update ourselves on Dolby Vision version 5. It's just like giving you the most important things that are new in that. And then just before we finish, we're gonna learn about marketing strategies. So what the marketing strategies are is just basically, okay, so now I finished this master, I'm finishing it. How I can benefit from it, how I can get more work. So we're gonna help you a little bit with that. Okay. So we're gonna always have a guest lecture. You know, who's that gonna be? We don't know right now, but there's a wide range of people we're bringing colorists. So we will announce that as we get closer to the date. Okay, now let's talk about the schedule. The schedule is now 9 months. Okay, and 6 months of continuous training. So every Tuesday at 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific time, you will dial in and you'll have about 2 hours, 2.5 hours training session. Okay. And that's kind of really what, guys, I'm afraid to say that's what makes you good, right? Because that continuous progress, you every week, your mind and your body and your focus and your energy is going in this direction. And then every week you're required to complete the practical assignments. Okay. Every week you get an assignment and every week you have to deliver it by the next week. Sometimes they're simple, sometimes they're more complicated. Every week you get uh, your assignment reviewed by me. I do live reviews with all the class in, and we go through the assignments. Again, it's super important part of your job, of your growth as a colorist, that somebody looks at your work and tells you this is good, this is not good. But also we do it in a very, very special way because everybody else sees your work, right? So it's not just me. Everybody else sees your work and you see everybody else's work. So there's level of group, of cohort, of you seeing the level of finishing that other people are doing, and you'll be able to compare where you are and where they are, is incredibly motivational. And people really grow much quicker like that, right? It's better than one to one. One to one, you don't really you can grow, yes, but when you're in a group, there is an extra level of pressure there. So I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm really committed to look through every assignment and to give you, this takes hours. Sometimes we have extra sessions on Monday just to be able to review everything. But this is really like, week to week, I'm following your progress. And because of that, this is why the size of master's program is very limited. We have a strict number. We know how much we can do, how many students we can look after, and we do not go over it. So I'm afraid, that when this course is full. There isn't, we're just gonna push you to the next seminar, next semester, because this is what's happening with this semester. We had a lot of students who didn't manage to come into the previous semester that we have moved onto this semester. This is why places, not all places are available immediately to you, right? Because we have students that we have to, say, okay, we couldn't get you in previous seminar, so now you have chance to do this seminar this semester. So but what I do is I always like to gradually, like, to open the spaces that we have available in staggered way, because for us as a training facility, it's important that we select the right group of people, the right mix of people, the right mix of skills and motivation and so on, rather than just fill the places. We can fill the place, no problem. It's not a problem for us. But I really like to, kind of, find. So there is still like around 20% of space is still available right now at this moment, and we're going to be selecting the right candidates. And then also, so just so you know, we also have a foundation, and 10% of all our students are supported by the foundation. And we understand the course is not cheap, and in some countries this is tons of money, and we totally understand. And I know that some of you are going through hardship, with health situations, work situations, and we want to support you all, but we have a limited capacity for financial aid, and this is 10%. So we've given 10% of all our students financial support to be able to attend these courses, even if they can't necessarily afford it. We work with them to see what we can do and how best we can accommodate them. If we feel like no, they're really great talent, which could benefit so much from it, we'll work with you to see whether we can do it. But the spaces are limited, I have to say, and there's many people more. You know, I could make a course just for foundation courses people. So just so you know, that I and unfortunately, it's not possible right now. So basically, we have a holidays as well. So there is like a breaks. There's usually 3 breaks that happen. Where you have a 1 week off. We also have a seminars bi-monthly, right? There's 4 seminars. They happen on Thursday, and then sometimes we schedule extra reviews, maybe at 9 a.m., maybe at 10 a.m., depending, how many people we have. We split reviews into 2 groups, so you can dial in and do stuff like this, right? Once we finish this 6 months training, right, then you have a 3 months to write your thesis. Okay, so what is that? So the thesis basically is your final work that is super important for us for in order to award you the diploma, because in order for you to get the diploma, we have to see that you've been participating in assignments. Okay. I understand not everybody can do 100% of assignments, but we do want to see the full participation in assignments. We want to see your final look academy assignment and the quality of that. um, at the end of each master section, you'll do a test. So we need to make sure that you passed all of those tests. That's usually not a problem, most people do. And then we qualify you by a thesis. So the thesis is a document, is a white paper that you write. It could be historical about analysis of a film, or it could be practical, technical about some new techniques that you invented. Okay, so it's basically where you research. And this is again super important for us, because your learning doesn't stop with masters. You're now just skilled to continue learning and growing, and the thesis is showing us that you are going to continue to research and improve your skill, and you're creating a massive benefit to the industry. Our thesis library today is by far the most important research library available on subject of color grading anywhere in the world. You can learn from Lawrence of Arabia to AI, from neuroscience to way how spinach is absorbing green light. You can basically, it's just absolutely fascinating. And I don't think we're publicizing this enough. It's not necessarily publicly available on our website, but we're changing that, and we will allow people to get more access to it. But it's an incredible body of research that it's going to be very hard for all of you to read all of them, let me tell you that. Okay. But also, I want to just tell you there are other additional benefits that you get through this course, right? That are not just practical, that are part of it. So first of all, you get the total benefits we calculated of around $1,600 if you take advantage of them. That is, so you first of all you get a free software license for 1 year for Colab AI Pro and Filmlab AI Pro, combined value of $1,000. Okay, and you have a free access to it. You need it because you'll be using them all the time, right? You get 50% of Dolby Vision training certification. And if you want to buy a license, including as well, either one, you get 50% of that. Okay. And we recommend you that when you finish masters, you attend the Dolby Vision training. And as our student, you get 50% off. And if you want to buy a license for Dolby, you get 50% of that as well. Okay. And we just closed the deal for all our students with Asus. There is a new HDR monitor, which is absolutely amazing. And you're going to be getting 30% of this. Most people come without not really having equipment. Most common questions I get asked is, what monitor should I buy? So now I finally found a monitor that costs just over $1,000, and it's actually behaving like $30,000 monitor. And we managed to negotiate 30% discount for you on that. Okay. So, like we're really trying to kind of help you as much as possible, so that you see this, as an investment into your future. Really, like this is, and for us, it's absolutely necessary. In order for us to put this program together, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of time, many hours, And that's basically how we ensure that you're really committed to the course as much as we are. So yeah, I want to now just open a little bit for a Q&A. If you guys have any questions or anything, please. The way how it works, you just press an X, and then I'm going to ask you to unmute your microphone, and then we're going to be able to talk through it. Okay. Robert already asked the research group. I'm actually sending out emails today, Robert. So today is the research group, and our monthly seminars in the research group. Yes, their monthly seminars are in research group as well. So the research group is sharing the monthly seminars and the guests with the master's program. Carlos, please go ahead.
Hey, Dado, good to see you again.
Good to see you. Hello.
Hey, I took the master's course, like one of the early ones. I think before you even did like the thesis portion and all
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm curious, like I'm debating taking it or like applying to take it again, just to like, it's always good to like see the new stuff that's coming out and refresh my skills. And also, I'm interested in that like further those further modules that you've added. Would you recommend just taking the whole thing
Yeah,
again? Or
you have to take the whole thing. We can't separate it anymore,
yeah,
right? Because it's just nightmare, for us to do it.
yeah, of
Who's
course.
attending, who's not. And the whole, like first, Carlos, what will happen to you is this induction program. We have
Mhm.
never had that before. We always assume that you will guys know this, and then we realize, well, how will you know it? There isn't really a book out there even on that subject, right? So maybe that's something we can change. So in any case, so I think just this first part, the induction, I think is going to be incredibly valuable for you. Okay, because I know that color grading is not your number one thing, right? And I know
It's
that
becoming more my one thing.
okay, great.
I've been
But
shifting more towards that.
excellent. So so you want to have such a solid foundation that you can hold your ground on subject of color grading, no matter with whom you're having this conversation, right? And that's basically the induction to begin with. What also you have to, Carlos, you have to understand, maybe some things you learned before, but what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing practical exercise week on, every week. And Carlos, if I was to get you to run around the block every week, you would get fit. Do you understand? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So just think about it. It doesn't matter if you did it before, you will be practicing every week challenging assignments, and that just makes you better. That's really what we see with our students. It's not like, oh, I've done it, I've known this. No, you're going to do it again, and you're going to do better than the last time, and then you practice that skill over and over and over again, and that really then builds up. You
yeah,
understand?
of course.
So then we added a lot of new stuff as well, the whole look part, and the look academy. And then it's an interesting concept, because you get put into a situation like, okay, now now 6 months I was being told what to do and how to do it. Now I don't have anybody to tell me what to do. And that's such an important transition from you being a student to being a professional, because now you have to work with clients, and there is no Dado and color training to tell you what to do, right? So
Yeah.
this is wonderful kind of challenge as well we put on top of it. So yeah, you know how they say, like, if you're thinking like, okay, I really want to do this professionally, I really want to commit to it. In 12 months it will completely change the quality of your grading. You will not be able to recognize things that you were doing 12 months ago to what you're doing now.
Yep.
And I can assure you there is a students here in this group probably who have completed the master class, and they're probably thinking like you, should I do it again? And they can confirm, they can tell you they've seen incredible improvement in their work. And I do it, like, because I watch you, like how you guys do your very first assignment, and then when you submit your last assignment, I go like, oh my God, is this the same person? It's crazy. It's really wonderful to see that. So yeah, I hope that answered your question, Carlos.
Oh yeah, 100%. I already applied.
Have you? Okay. All right. Great.
Great. Awesome.
Okay. Milana asked a question. Do you retain exclusive publishing rights to the thesis? No. The theses are open sourced. You know, we don't necessarily give them for free that people can just come and download them. You, as a student, you're more than welcome to distribute your thesis to anybody you want because you, the author, you, the owner. We have a copyright on the thesis but we are not protecting. Look, Milena, the only reason why I'm not putting this thesis on a public internet is because there is a lot of misuse. You know, people will take your thesis, copy paste it, pretend that it's theirs and stuff like this. You understand? So I really, I'm controlling that. You know, it's really the students and the researchers. You know, people who are serious about it and who respect the work of other people are getting access to that. However, if you have written a thesis, I encourage you to put it on your website, on everywhere, let people download it, let people see what you did, distribute it as much as you want. We encourage you to do that. It's just that we don't want you to be harmed by the fact that we have publicly just put this massive library on the internet. So that's the only reason why we kind of want to control who gets access to it. And you have to understand, Melanie, like we get, like, I don't know, like, there is so many people out there who kind of are interested in color grading, but like very superficially, right? Who are constantly subscribing to our mailing list. We have thousands. I think we have now, like, 50,000 people who sign up for our mailing list. I'm thinking, like, these people can't be serious that they're going to be colorists, because just you get me. So I really want to, like, limit the access to that knowledge to people who really benefit from it. Okay, so that's the reason why. Jason, I have been through the program. It's amazing. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Michelangelo. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I need you, Michelangelo, to do your to show your ODT. It's amazing what you did. So we just updated it, by the way. It's going to be published today. What's the fees of this course? Okay, so the course costs $1,800, and basically, or you pay 6 installments of $300. And to all of you people here who have tuned in and you're interested and you want to join the course, I'm giving $50 off monthly payments, right? So you're getting total of $300 off. So all of you who have registered, when you finish basically, when I finish the live stream, I will send you a code that is going to take $300 off the cost of the course for you. And if you're interested, you can then register. You say, hey, I was part of the live stream. Well, you have the code. So if you get approved, you can use that code and you can save yourself money. So instead of 300 a month, you pay 250, or 1,800 one-off payment. This is the cost. Exactly. Uh, yes, I agree, Gary. Yeah, I agree. Bartosz, how can I actually apply? I missed it. Okay, so Bartosz, what you do is you go to our website, and there is like in the top menu, it says Masters. You click on that and you scroll all the way to the bottom. And then at the bottom, there you have two options. There's an option for monthly, or there's option for annual. You fill out the form, we review the form. If we think you're good fit, we'll send you straight away a registration link, and then you can use the code that we're going to send you now that will help you a little bit with those payments. And or we will invite you for an interview. For some students that where we're not sure, like whether they're whether they're right or not, like maybe they have, like, we don't want anybody to join that cannot really, where we believe they can't complete it. You understand? We are not interested in having students that are not on the level necessary for this course. This is a major commitment. This is not like something you do, like, oh, I signed up, and then after 2 weeks you kind of fade off. This is not that. guys, this is like serious work, and it's like a very competitive as well. There's some other really amazing people on the course that make you feel so better. We want the right mix of people, and that's sometimes why we need to schedule an interview as well before we approve you. So just so you know. Okay. Any other questions? Mubashir, hi sir. I have been following you in the past 2 years, but every time due to financial reasons, I have to drop myself from the program. I'm from Pakistan. Yes, yes, I understand, Mubashir. I understand that. Look, we have people from Pakistan, from Brazil, from India, from Miriam. I don't know, like so many countries where the price of the course is just so prohibitive. So what you do, Mubashir, you basically go and submit an email, a request for financial aid. We'll send you a form. Will consider everybody. Like there is no for we really try. And as I said, we're committing 10% of all of our students are always accessing our course through financial aid, and you don't know which students they are because for us they're exactly the same whether they're going through foundation or not. They're all the same to us. And actually, you know what, some of our best students came through foundation. Some of our most amazing work happened, and so I will support you, Mubashir. If there is a chance for us to do it, we'll try. But you have to understand, I have so many people like you. Like, I think I don't know what's happening at the moment, but half of India and Pakistan wants to learn color grading. And I cannot support all of you guys. I'm afraid. I can only do so much. And we have to also like give everybody a chance, right? So potentially I have the highest amount of applications from India and Pakistan, the highest by I think 90%, right? But I cannot just give only India and Pakistan all the foundation courses. I have to give other people as well. We still support folks in Ukraine. We have still understand Brazil is going through really difficult financial, crisis, and they're super talented people. We want to help them as well. Especially Netflix is now moving more and more into Brazil, producing more. So I have somebody from Nicaragua. I was like, my God, of course. I steal people from Albania, from Macedonia. These are all these people where they're like, for them, it's very hard, to sign, but we'll support all of them. So this is how we choose. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so then I have a Leonard. It says, I'm a 77 years old, deep in San Francisco. And okay, I've been doing color grading for France for a number of years, but not as a full-time job. I think I'm pretty good, but slow. And I know a little about look development, which I want to learn. The next course sounds fascinating, but I don't expect that I'll end up working full time for a facility doing. Yeah, okay, Leonard, I love your spirit. So I don't know whether you know Leni Riefenstahl. She's a famous German director and a photographer. She actually did like a license for diving when she was about your age, 78, and she became underwater photographer in her 80s. So I 100% support you, Leonard. You think that the age is just a number, and you might be a little slow, but that's okay. You're not going to work with clients who need speed. And as long as you do a really good job, everyone's going to be happy. Now look, certainly you don't have to necessarily take this course as a career opportunity that you're going to go and find yourself a job. You just want to be very good in what you're doing, and you want to improve on that. Okay. My only thing for you is that you have to understand that you will be required to deliver practical assignments on a weekly basis, right? It takes maybe sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 4 hours a week, to do them. And you need to just be honest to yourself. Do I have that time available that I can do it? That's really like, so think about it, for 6 months, you will, but what's 6 months of your life? Nothing if you think about it, right? But you will be committed. It's not like, okay, if you're going to join, I want you to participate. I don't want you to be fly on the wall thinking I'm not good enough, or I don't need to do this because I'm not going to work professionally. It doesn't matter. you know, I want you to participate in this course and take it seriously as if you're going to go and get a job at company 3 tomorrow. I don't care, you know, whether you're going to just working on documentaries, your own stuff. At the end of the day, what you want to do with it is your problem. But you know, the commitment is just very important, right? And you know, your age is maybe just a benefit, you know, so you have more experience. Exactly, exactly. And yes, we have had you know, students, you know, similar age. You will probably be the older one, or more than the older generation, but yes, we have students of all ages, so no problem at all. There's Robert waving, yeah. Excellent, excellent. So for you guys who have already completed it, you know, and stuff, I want to just let you know that we will be having a research group. It's opening today. We're just, you know, putting finishing touches to that. We had to build like a membership part of our website that we can accommodate this. And yeah, I mean, this is a great way that every month you're going to get some new content and stuff like this. Unless you really feel like, you know, I don't think I have got everything I wanted, I want to do a course again. We have a, you know, ability for you to retake the course, and you pay only 50% then of the total fees if you do that. But you know, just consider it whether you really need to do this or not. As I said, it's a commitment, and you know, you want to see whether, you know, it's necessary for you to, you know, redo the whole course or not, or maybe the research group is also something that's going to help you continually, you know, improving, which is really what color grading is about. You know, it's not like kind of, oh, you know, don't expect that when you finish this course you're going to say, oh, I know color grading. It's not the feeling you're going to have at all. You know, you will be feeling like, oh my god, I want to just learn more now, you know. And that feeling probably is not going to let you go. Like, you know, this is really what happens. I'm afraid, you know, that it's not like a call, oh, I got a diploma, now I'm done. No, you're not. You know, you're just starting. Then you're starting digging, and every job you will be figuring, inventing, trying something new out. You know, you're never gonna stop. You know, that really what separates you from the kind of thousands and millions of other colorists in the world. You know, is that desire, you know, to constantly, like, you know, improve, do something different and better. That's what you know, successful colorists have all in common. All. Excellent. Hope, guys. Oh yeah, any more questions? There we go. Michelangelo, if compelled, could I submit another thesis as a standalone contribution? Well, maybe we could get you to do this as a part of the research group. Maybe I can, if it's an interesting thing, I could get you to do the thesis, and then if you do it, we'll present it as a part of the research group. That's probably better. It says, curious to hear your thoughts about Asus Pro at HDR Dolby monitor, since it's a mini LED IPS. I've heard HDR. No, this is a new one. This is the new model. I forgot. I have it in front of me, but yeah, it's called a PA32 UCDM. Okay, so that one's not available for sales. It's coming out now any week soon, and basically you will be able to buy directly through our website with 30% discount. I tested it heavily. It is the best, for money to buy. It's the same panel, by the way, that Flanders X310 has got, but without all the, you know, beautiful metal housing, SDI input scopes, and everything that you get with Flanders. Right? Flanders has got this kind of super nice professional kind of, you know, features, you know, that are great, and I think it's definitely worth the money. The $10,000 that they ask for that monitor is fair price. It's absolutely fair price. This is a computer screen, right, that works through HDMI. But for most of us, this is like, if I'm work from home, you know, and I just really want to have a good reference screen, and I'm, you know, not really making tens of thousands of dollars on color grading, then, you know, something just over $1,000, you know, for a monitor is perfect. It's perfect. I have the precision, image quality, you know, and I'm not completely out of pocket. So yeah, so I think it's a great balance. I was waiting for something like this to happen, to be able to say it for my students, this is what you guys use. This is what you use. You know, last semester I was recommending LG TVs. I still think you should have one of those. This is industry standard. This everyone's got those LG OLEDs, right? You should have it as your TV at home or as a second TV in your grading suite. But these monitors, because they're 30 inches, they are much more practical, for day-to-day use. Uh, okay. Excellent. So another question: if you have to work sometimes and miss the weekly class, oh yeah, they're all recorded. We have a lot of students that are maybe not able to tune in live, because of the time zone, and some maybe work at that time, and they can't really, join. So everything's always recorded. Everything's always recorded, and you get access to those recordings all the time, and that includes the reviews as well. Live classes and reviews, they're all always recorded. So the way how it works is I do a live class, and then you have a pre-recorded exercises you watch and complete the assignment, and then the next week we do review, and then another set of pre-recorded classes. So that's how it works. It's a combination between live calls and pre-recorded. Jeffrey, I work in industry in Atlanta as gaffer. Okay, very good. Okay, Atlanta's been busy actually. I think they have some tax credit or something. What is this in Georgia, right? Is this masterclass mostly for people who are already into color grading on some level? Okay, so look, um, this masterclass is for people that are into color grading, right? That they love color grading, that feel passionate about color grading, and they have this urge to express themselves through color. This is who really this masterclass is for. And if you're stacking shelf at your local's Ralph's, or you're working as a ASC cinematographer, doesn't matter to us. Really, I don't care. What matters is like how you feel about it, and whether you think that you want to get serious about it. That's really what this masterclass is for. You get enough training, through the induction program, that will bring you to the level where you will catch up with everything you need to know as a foundation for color grading. But you do need to know DaVinci Resolve before you start. We do not allow, like there is a question in application form: what's the level of your DaVinci from 0 to 10, right? So those, zeros, ones, and twos don't necessarily fly with us, because I can't teach you Da Vinci. I don't have passion to do it. And I don't want to do this. There is 1 million person out there who's going to give you a YouTube video how to use Da Vinci. Anybody can show you that. I don't need to do this. So you need to come to me as somebody who knows how to operate Da Vinci Resolve. Don't care if you know how to color grade, but you need to know how to use the software that we're going to be using day in, day out. I know some people think that knowing how to use the software is color grading, but it's nothing to do with color grading. Just knowing how to use software is knowing how to use software. You're nowhere near colorist. so so basically this is basically what it is, and look, honestly, like, look, we have people that have never worked in film industry and have completed successfully master's program. So it's not impossible, but as I said, or can someone with no real color grading experience beside color correction on their own projects, more clients? Yes, 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 yes. It's fine if you're doing it yourself and you like it. You can totally do it. But as I said, make sure that you don't put anything less than 3 about knowledge of DaVinci Resolve, and explain in your application why you think you want to do it, and what you want to do with this course. We also want to see, hey, if you're going to do this course, what's your plan for the future? Do you still want to work as a gaffer, or you see yourself maybe transitioning more into a DIT role that you can do color on set, or maybe do dailies, or maybe do something else, maybe do even color grading? I don't know. We want to see, like, whether it makes sense for you to do it, right? uh Thank you, Rez. Thank you very much. Rez did a great, actually, job. I love Rez. I love what you did, Rez. And I hope you got your diploma by now, Rez. Okay, guys. If you don't have any more questions for me, You can always hit me by email as well. I am. I'll give you my email here. If you feel like, hey, I don't necessarily want to ask in public. I want to just ask questions like this. Color.training. Okay, there we go. And email me if you have any questions, anything that you want to know. As I said, we have still about 20% left, and we're looking for a really cool people and right crowd to join the next cohort. It's still it starts around April time. But yeah, we wanna like a really um, you know have enough time. This is one thing we're changing. We used to do it like a few weeks before the semester would start. We would kind of start, get filling up the last places. We want to do this now well in advance to give us enough time to assess the candidates. So yeah, let me know. Would be great to hear from you if you're interested. And thank you very much for joining this live stream. Thank you, Louis, for helping with that. Sorry about these little technical glitches we had. I was just trying to, get these slides to look a little bit better. But so anyway, we'll figure it out next time. Because just as I was about to go live, I got a message. You have to restart your computer. I was like, no, I can't restart it now. So anyway, this is why it didn't work. But yeah, we'll figure it out better for the next time. Have a great time, everybody, and come and join me on Friday. We have a color love stream, and we're going to be learning about gamut mapping and gamut limiting. Really interesting subject, really important. For all of you that are building show lights and emulating film of high dynamic range cameras, it's an interesting subject, so it will be a good one. So take care, everybody. And I'm looking forward to seeing you soon again. Thank you. Have a great time. Bye bye.